Just to look at my book so you'd see it. Hi, and welcome to... Let's put it back over there. There we go. Sorry. I have a cumbersome desk today, so it's a bit clunky trying to set everything up. I'm using a tabletop tripod. Okay. Stay. Hi, thanks for coming in. Welcome, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me. This is my daily... Let's turn the phone slightly that way there. That was so kinked. Thanks for coming in. Welcome to my daily Love Scope. Today's one is going to go a bit deeper. Well, they always go deep usually because I do talk about the real deal about relationships. Thanks, Vince, for coming in. If you're just coming first time, please make sure you swipe right on the iPhone, down on the droid, and tap follow me. And also, please invite your followers on Twitter and on Periscope and spread the word. This one's going to get juicy. I mean, I did put the word naked in the title for a reason. Might need to get your interest. But I want to go deeper than that. So it's not the surface level. We're going to get, deeper in the whole way. So thanks for joining me. My name is Barry Selby. And thanks for tapping the screen for hearts. I am not doing the Halloween heart at the moment. I promoted that last week. But frankly, I'm going to wait to the end of the month. So, cool. Nice to have you here. Great. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Barry Selby. My website, my social media, it's all Barry Selby. Easy to find me. So my website is barryselby.com. On Periscope, as you can see, it's Barry Selby. Same as on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, it's that. It's easy. Because I was lucky enough to be told way back at the beginning to make it easy, not hard. So I did that. I am a #1 best-selling author. This is my book, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. It is out on Amazon. Sorry, it's on Amazon. I'm trying to see so the sun doesn't blind it. There you go. It's on Amazon physically, Kindle, and also my website as a PDF as well. And an audio version is coming because my female audience has been begging me to do the audio version of my book. Hey Ray, Vince, good to see you guys are here. So, the point I want to talk about today in my Love Scope, and by the way, if you want to find out more about my work, you can go to my website, which is barryselby.com. In this topic I want to bring up today, it's about getting naked in your heart. And I know some of the guys are going to mess with that. And if Garth or Kevin show up, that might become a joke for them. They may be too busy doing a different scope today, but I look forward to seeing them showing up as well. Hey, good to have you here. What is your book called? It is called 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. It's 50 Principles for Healthy Relationships. You find it on Amazon, just search for the title with the number 50 or my name, you'll find it there. It's on Kindle as well, and physical. It's 50 Principles for Healthy Relationships. And the topic today I want to talk about is if you want to get real love, you got to share your naked heart. And what that means, and frankly, okay, no problem. What I was going to call it was about how to be authentic and vulnerable. But frankly, naked is much more provocative, so that's why I use the title. But that's what I want to get to. Because for many of the people I talk to, and this is true for myself as well in my past relationships, now follow along and see if there's anything true for you in your past dating history. Because it might resonate for you. Maybe not, but maybe it will. I'm glad you're here. In your past dating life, when you were going on your first date or going on online dating profiles or doing something that would introduce you to a relationship, did you hold back? Did you pretend to be something you weren't? Did you try to put on a persona of being perfect and impervious to anything so you could be safe when you went on dates? You did. Well, so did I. And frankly, it's something that is prevalent in our society. It's something that's promoted as a cultural thing because everyone's going to look their best. Now, I do live in Los Angeles where there's the whole Hollywood patina, that's how I put it, but that's such a Hollywood presentation that can give us the sense that we're going to make sure we're perfect. Yes, I understand that, and I'll get to that. So I'm guessing Crafty is not your regular first name, so I'm just going to quick check on your profile to see. Tammy. Hi, Tammy. So yeah, and I've been there, done that, more than once. So what I want to get to, and this is one of the things I talk about in my work because I'm passionate about people being authentic. In fact, part of my work with my clients is helping them learn that their authenticity is stronger than anything else they have. And so being authentic is a powerful way to live in the world, period. But most people, okay, great, but most people tend to put on a wall up, a pretense, because they're afraid that they might get hurt, which I understand. I did that myself for many years and felt that I couldn't reveal who I really was because if they did know who I really was, either one, they wouldn't want to be with me, or two, they might attack that, or three, they might simply ignore who I was. Great. Glad you like it. Um, what if your partner built you up in their mind to someone you turn out not to be? Well, honestly, Ray, that's their confusion, not yours. Your job in a relationship is to be real, to be authentic. If they don't see you that way, that's their lack of vision, ability to see, and that's something you can help them with. But if they try to keep telling you something you're not, now if they're encouraging you, it's one thing. If they're coaching you or cheerleading you to be better than you've been, that's great to have in a partner. Frankly, it's kind of rare, but if you do that, it's great. But if they're trying to see you as somebody you're not, dramatically different, then they're looking for the wrong person. And it may be something you want to walk away from, frankly, because if you're not being honored and respected for who you are, you deserve better. That's the truth. So the idea of having your naked heart is being exposed and vulnerable, but also being real. And by being real, because having like this disagreeing relationship totally different from before, I understand that. Now, Tasha, I can speak to you because I saw your scope earlier, and I want to say this to you directly. A couple of things. One is I appreciate you stepping into saying that truthfully and out loud and being visible on camera. And a couple of things for you. First of all, you are much, as I said on your scope, you're much bigger than your diagnosis. You have the ability to go beyond it. And I have a whole perspective, a whole thing on big pharma and the pharmaceutical industry and stuff like that, especially I don't want to go into here because that's not appropriate for this conversation. But one thing is, you said you love working with kids. If you put your energy and focus on helping others, whilst you're dealing with what you're dealing with, you will actually find yourself, probably, not guaranteed, having a healthier experience in life in general. I'm not saying you're going to cure it, but the thing is, if you're sitting in a place of like, I need help, I need help, I need help, you're not able to express and share. And frankly, I learned the lesson for myself in this relationship too, that if I want to get stronger, give my love away. If I want to be healthier, give my love away. If I want to make a difference in the world, give my love away. And find somebody to do it of value. And that's the thing about being authentic, is when you're living in your true heart. What if you were lied to for the whole relationship? If you know that now and you're out of the relationship, be grateful you're out of it, honestly. Your life is better since you took down your walls and let your husband in. Right, exactly. So, focusing on authenticity, and yes, the challenge is going to be finding a partner who's willing to do that too. That's the part of the work I do in my coaching, is helping clients get a list of attractions they're going to create for themselves so they get what they want in a relationship. And when you do take down the walls, you get more intimacy, more connection, and more fulfillment in your relationships, both in romantic and you have a child together. Well, sorry, I'm going to look up names half the time to see what these names are. So, Laurie. For Laurie, in that context, that's a different conversation and not something I can cover in this scope. And Sam, I'm glad that you got that. So you got you and you understand you. So again, it goes different ways. This is, I'm realizing as I'm speaking about this topic, there's about 7 different branches going off of here, which I won't be able to cover here. So if you want to talk one-on-one, please reach out to me. I do have in my bio a link to a discovery session, which is an open conversation we can have privately. So if that appeals to you, let me know. If I don't cover what I'm covering in the scope for you, please do that. But what I want to speak to back again is the core element, which is your authentic heart. It's so many of us have a wall up because we're afraid our partner won't see us as we really are, and we get scared. Sorry, don't mean to be rude, but I got to lay down for a while, so I appreciate you. That's no problem. You can watch the replay. And this is up for 24 hours on Periscope. You can watch the replay there. And for those of you who do watch lots of my scopes, I do have an archive. This is just whatever my archive on Catch.me. This, by the way, if you use Periscope, get yourself a free Catch.me account. It's the same as your Twitter handle and Periscope handle. It's a free account, and you can turn on the settings there. It automatically catches your Periscope broadcasts, so they live there forever. Okay? So make sure you use that. So that's where mine all live, and I've got 130 scopes out there now. Most of them about love and relationships. So back to the question about let me start from where I am. If you've got another question, add into it, please. I'm just running around with this. Yes. Take care of yourself. Being authentic, being real, being naked heart, real is what I talk about, is the healthiest way to have a relationship. Okay? Bye, Tasha. Take care of yourself. Thanks for being on our what do you call it? Past the spotlight this morning. Oh, tonight. Thank you. So back on topic. Your naked heart is your best ticket to get an amazing relationship. That's simple. Because when you put on all the persona with the right clothes and the makeup and the hair and the perfume and everything else, I don't do all of that because I got what I got. It can present a mask. Now we're coming to Halloween, so it may be topical for this time of the year. But I mean, truthfully, when you want to connect in a relationship, the less masks you have between you and your partner, the better. Now, okay, I'm going to talk about this. Sorry, when I talk about masks, there's another piece of the conversation which I've talked about before, about a month ago, about the masculine and feminine polarity. And what we tend to do in this society is put on a shell or a shield or a mask of who we really are to fit in. So when I talk about your naked heart, I don't just mean like be like wide open to see the other person. I also mean to be aware of what you have come to in your own life. What if we don't want a relationship? Is that normal? Honestly, is that abnormal? It's not abnormal. Being in a relationship or not in a relationship is your choice. If you're not choosing a relationship because you've got fear about what happened before, that's something you want to work through, because it may be holding you back from having what you want. But if you don't care about a relationship right now because you're totally clean about it, you're working on something else, that's totally fine. It's not abnormal. So let me get back to this quick theme. As we are raised as kids, we start as kids and grow up to adulthood, and through the evolution of our lives, we put on masks to be to survive, basically. For example, maybe if you were born as a little girl, loved by your dad and your mum, but you had brothers, or you went out and hang out in the local neighborhood and there were a lot of boys there, maybe when you're 5, 6, or 7, you put on a shell of being a tomboy to fit in. And you did that as a protection, because you wouldn't have been accepted as a girl, being pink and frilly outfits and stuff with all the boys around. So you put that shell on. Now, you did that probably unconsciously and automatically, and you didn't know you were doing it later on, so you didn't turn it off, maybe. So what happens is, in your teenage years, when you discover, this is to girls right away, you discover boys, you start realizing you want to be visible to them. So you put on the mask around the first mask of being a tomboy, of being girly, being attractive, being whatever that is, as you start to find yourself attracted to boys. As years pass into your late teens, early 20s, maybe you had a couple of bad experiences, so that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to date anymore. These boys are horrible, they don't treat me right, blah, 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 blah. You put on another shell, which is basically making you more protected. These are masks and these are layers. It's like putting shells, like layers around you put around yourself as you go through life. So as an adult, you start dating, and you think you're being authentic and vulnerable and clear, and you think your partner is too. The truth, most likely, is you're carrying around 17 layers of masks between you and them as they are with you. That's 30 plus masks between you and the other person. So to be connected to them and authentic with them is really hard to do. So what I recommend, highly recommend, is what I've been doing. I've been studying stuff for 30 years, so I've been doing this slow way. You can do it faster than that. I can help you with that. You can do it in books. Just do it on your own. Is you start taking down those masks, those walls, those barriers you put up as automatic defenses from when you were a child to you're an adult. Okay, so not fear, but don't have any interest or energy to put into a relationship. Well, that's okay. It depends on what you're working on. I have been out of a relationship for quite a few years to build my business, to write my book, to do my work, because my work is more important than a relationship is. You're married at 29. So you may have had a different experience. We can talk offline if you want to go into more detail. But I want to say this to you clearly, and to everybody watching, by the way. We carry our masks through life. I did myself. And so we carry these different layers as we go through. And until we start removing them and still start releasing them, our heart isn't naked. Our heart isn't vulnerable. Our heart isn't authentic, because we can't get through it. So your work, your opportunity, if you want to have an amazing relationship that's way more powerful, fulfilling, sexy, connected, passionate, joyful, fulfilling, all those things, the more you can take down those barriers and walls between you and your partner, and they do the same thing, the more open you can be to each other. Like an onion peel, exactly. And there can be tears. So it's a choice. And some people who have not wanted to be in a relationship, not saying it's you, but it's what I've had with clients, the reason why they've not gone to be in a relationship is because they've gotten so numb to relationships because of all the masks they had up. I did. And I know from my clients that happened. So sometimes being clear about not being in a relationship can be an avoidance versus a truth. If it's true for you, great. If it's an avoidance because of the fact you don't even know what it feels like, that's an indication there's a lot of masks between you and your heart. And if you really want a relationship, it's time to start taking down the masks and take them off, because they don't serve you anymore. And the thing about them is they did serve you as the right reasons at different times of your life. So none of this is wrong. I'll make sure they're clear about this. But these are opportunities to grow. You never ever wear a mask. You bump that. Okay, that's good. So you're clear, which is great. But I'm talking to those people who are watching either here on the replay and on Catch later on. If this is true for you, there's an opportunity to do some work. So basically to take down the walls, the masks, and become more authentic, to basically have your naked heart exposed so you can actually be seen as you really are by your future partner. And the good thing is when you do that, you'll be like a spotlight searching, or a searchlight looking at the other searchlights. So the other person out there will be looking for you too. And eventually you'll see each other. Because the other thing is when you have an authentic, naked heart, you can tell when other people are not. So you won't get trapped or fooled or distracted by somebody who's not in their authentic heart. So, hi. Just found you looking forward to reading a book. I appreciate your authentic. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's my thing. Oh, phone calls, you getting bumped off, Ray? Yeah, that happens. So I'm watching messages come on top of my screen, which thankfully is not pulling me out of my scope, because the thing is with Periscope is it is a domination app on the phone, and if you get phone calls, it can bump them out unless you do a do not disturb on your phone. Okay, so everyone you loves wears masks. So I'm just seeing who this is. Azar? Well, that's a thing. Then you want to start focusing on what you really want. So maybe you have some masks up too, because you see masks on other people, mainly because you have masks yourself. Maybe they're more subtle, maybe not seen. Oh, right when I was answering your question, but you have to watch the replay then. Sorry, I don't know when it was exactly I was answering your question, Ray. Unless you can post it again and I'll come back. So, Azar, thanks for being here, by the way. This is a big piece for me in the work I do. One of my core values in my work is authenticity, and about being willing to be real and to be loved or hated regardless, because it's not about you, it's about them when that happens. Your value to yourself and your ability to share your energy most authentically and powerful is, I am. This is my work, this is my mission, this is my work. I've been studying stuff, as I say, for 30 years, and I've been absolutely passionate about people having healthy relationships. As I said, I am a #1 best-selling author. If you come in late, this is my book, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. It is a #1 bestseller on Kindle. That's okay. And I'm also a speaker and coach on relationships, and frankly, Periscope's become my speaking avenue for about this. So I've got 130 Periscopes I've shot, and about 100 of those are love scopes. So lots of good content on catch.me. If you want to watch my previous ones, which is there. So that's my archives of my scopes, and just look for the ones that say love scope on them. That's all my love and relationship ones for my history. And if you look at my website, barryselby.com, I have a bunch of videos on there too, which are not Periscopes, they're actually YouTube videos, and other teachings out there. And by the way, I'm going to be, two things I want to let you know about. I will be probably, I'll be fair to do this, embedding my catch.me scopes into my website as video blogs, which will make it easy for you to find them through my website, rather than going, you got to go here, then you got to go there, and everything else. Should be doable. I'm just going to set up and try and do a couple of them, see if it works. If it does, then that'll be much easier for people to find me. Second thing is for the ladies, I'm launching it's going to be 5-day or 7-day, I'm not sure which yet. Oh yeah. Sorry, get it so it doesn't shine on the screen. That's the book. Screenshot. It's on Amazon, you can find it right there. If you go to my website, there's a link there for it as well. Okay. The 5 or 7 day, it's going to be a Periscope-based invitation for the ladies. The other what? Sorry, lost me there. Okay, come back to that. I will be doing a 5-day or 7-day challenge for the ladies, which is about owning the feminine empowering relationship. Oh, my archive. Oh, that one. This one, that's what you want. Catch.me. There you go. Catch.me/barryselby. And again, that is an account you want to get if you are a yes, this one. If you're using Periscope, you want to get a Catch.me account. It's free. It's created by people who are fans of Periscope, and it's basically a place your archives are stored automatically. Okay? So that's that. Okay. So I think I've covered my main points. I don't know if I had a final point I was going to say, but I think bottom line is this. Be authentic in your own relationship with yourself first. Then every other relationship out there can be affected positively by that as well. Any questions or thoughts before I wrap up? Because this really was the point I want to make. It's about being authentic and having a naked heart is absolutely the best way to live life, period, because you experience life more fully, more joyfully, and in a more fulfilling way. Hi Heidi, nice to have you here. I'm just thinking if there's any to recap anything. I pretty much covered what I wanted to say. And Ray, if your question came up, let me know what it is, because I'm basically wrapping up. Yes, absolutely. Key again is basically that we carry shells automatically. You know, we put up our masks and we build masks to live and survive in life, because that's what we think is the way to be. When we're an adult looking for a relationship and we have all these masks in the way, we wonder why we don't get what we want. So the work is to take down each of the masks so you can be seen and you can see more clearly, and love and be loved more clearly. So that's really the bottom line I want to say on this scope. And if you need help with that, which most of us have done, I've done a lot of work myself and studied a lot of teachers and distilled my own learnings from that. You can check my website out, and on my profile there's a link to a discovery session so we can talk and I can help you get clarity on what you want to do next. All right? He who has nothing to hide hides nothing. That's true, but many of us don't know we're hiding. And that's the thing, is we're so good we hide it from ourselves. So your opportunity is always to go clearer and look in the mirror and see if you're hiding from yourself. So I think that's the end of my scope today. That really gets to the bottom line. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, please keep watching and share with your friends and followers on Twitter and Facebook and Periscope. Can I slow down a bit. Can I make a scope about knowing when to take the leap? I have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I've done one of those, I think. What if your partner's built you up to someone you turn out to be? We just talked about that one, I think. I tried with that. I lost those. Bottom line is, you're willing to commit. And the bottom line is, you got to commit to yourself first. So being willing to jump into a relationship comes from a place of being willing to jump in yourself. And part of it is knowing clearly what you want. Because when you know what you want and it matches that, then there's no fear. You jump right in. Well, there's a little bit of fear, but you can jump right in. But if you know what you want and you're not getting that, then you won't choose it in the first place. Is that normal if you have ADHD to hide from self? Well, I don't believe in ADHD, frankly. How do you get someone to open up more? I'll get to the ADHD one in a second. How do you hold on to that question? I'll come back to you. Bottom line for the intention thing is, if you're getting distracted, it's not important enough to you. When something's important to you, you'll stay focused, present with that the whole way through. So if you're being distracted, what's distracting you and why are you being distracted? That's the question to ask yourself. Thank you, appreciate that. 9 people. So Heidi, what was your question again about, I was getting someone to open up? It's not your job to make them open up, it's up to them to reveal themselves. And if you make the space safe for them and you open up yourself, you become an open space. If they won't reveal themselves to you then may be their issue they're not willing to get through. And it may be a chance for you to step back and say, do I really want to be here or not? Because ideally you want a relationship where you are open and so is the other person, so you both be authentic and both be open. But if they're not willing to open up to you, that may be their stuff, unless you're holding back yourself. Okay, Heidi? You're welcome. Any other questions on this as we're going? Why bother? You seem very jaundiced about that. I'm just thinking that, Zara, you might be a little bit not caring about relationships because of something happened in the past, perhaps. Just wondering about that. I was thinking is that I'm open, yeah. And you deserve someone who matches that. I mean, the thing about relationships are they should be equal, not like this. If you're open and the other person isn't, that's like, it's not fair. It's not open. I just finished what I'm saying. Oh, sorry, I was like wondering I thought you were talking for yourself. Okay, thank you for owning that one more clearly so I knew what's going on. So, yeah, so I just want to make sure it's clear on that one. Well, it's funny because some of my friends say I got a deep voice, so thank you for saying I'm deep beyond that. So I appreciate that much. Appreciate it there for who was that one? That was Laurie. Yes, you're welcome. So this is my scope about love and relationships. Do that. Transparency is the key. Yeah, being authentic, being real, having a naked heart. Because as someone was scoping about this 2 days ago, I saw their scope talking about how you desire a more faith-filled relationship and to feel strong and rooted. Good. You were just thinking about that. Being in your naked heart means that you are more invulnerable than ever else, because the vulnerability is strength. Because when you have a protection on it, then someone's going to start looking at that protection and want to tap through it, and that can be painful. So, you're curious of me. What does that mean, Laura? You're curious of me? You don't care what to say there, Laura? I love the scopes. Thank you. I appreciate you liking the Tamiko. What if someone is too needy? We hit send too soon. Okay, Laura, then I'll wait for you to write that out question. If someone is too needy, yeah, my heart's on my sleeve too, but Ray, so I understand that. If someone's too needy, it may be a sign that you may want to walk away, because neediness is going to be a sucking energy. It's going to pull from you. You want to find someone who's giving, not needy. That's true for all of us. But again, sometimes what we see out there is a projection of ourselves. So if they're needy, where is that resonating for you? Maybe it's something in yourself you want to change and heal so you don't feel needy yourself. There's a yearning and desire that's definitely okay, but needy comes from a place of lack, and the lack is a place of codependence. That's a whole other topic. I've done it in scopes before about the codependent paradigm to the interdependent paradigm, which is a big difference. So Oh, Laura, you're back. You want to ask that question now? And don't send too soon. So, the needy factor is something I've talked about in previous scopes. You've chosen to work on myself for the last 2 years after 26 years of marriage. A smart move. I agree with you. That's what I've done. What not after marriage, but I've done in the last few years. What do you think the number one sign it's time to leave the relationship? Boy. One of my teachers said this a long time ago, that the marriage vows about to a death to us part is very codependent. Yeah, I talk about in my book, in my coaching, how to move from codependence to interdependence. Sorry, Laura, back to your question. One of my teachers said a long time ago that the marriage vows to a death to us part are outdated. What it really should be is till the love is gone. And the number one thing for leaving a relationship, actually that's a very basic way of saying it. It's not really true, but men want sex, women want romance, and then you can go shit from there. There's more to it than that. Back to finish Laura's question, though. If there's apathy and no connection, no heart, that's probably the best indicator there's no need for the relationship anymore. If it's boredom because you've stopped focusing, then it's time to put the energy back in. But if there's just no connection whatsoever, then why be there? That's probably the biggest reason to say for leaving a relationship. Yes, there are extremes. If you're in a place that's abusive and you're being hurt, that's a whole other conversation. So, would you ever take someone back that broke your heart? That's a very general question for a very specific answer, and I can't give you an easy answer for that one, because sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's not a black and white for that one, to answer your question. So Laura, that was that question. I hope I answered for you. You went into another relationship that was worse than your marriage. That can happen. I do also talk about that, about rebound love. It's also in my book and in my work about rebound love is dangerous. If you haven't done the work since you're at the end of a relationship to heal and change the pattern so you don't do it again. All right? You're welcome, Laura. There's a lot of connection here with these people. So apathy, yes, exactly. There's when relationships go on autopilot, sometimes it needs just to be sparked again, but often it's not. That's often the case. You need to become right with yourself. Absolutely. Definitely need to be right with yourself. I love this. And ladies who are watching this, by the way, I'm launching next Monday. It's going to be a 5 or 7 day feminine support service for women. It's still evolving, so please make sure you're following me so I can write on the phone down on the droid. Tap me follow because I'll be announcing it on Periscope later in the week. So make sure you know about that. I've still got a lot of mechanics to do to make it happen, but I'll be doing a 7-day. It'll be a private Facebook group and a challenge for everybody to join into for the ladies. So, any other questions? Sorry, I'm answering questions which way and yonder, and I'm making sure I'm covering everybody. Any other questions before I wrap up? Or did I miss anybody? I think I got the questions answered, but I wanted to double check because that was a lot of questions thrown at me, and like fielding them and getting your answers out there. You don't do Facebook? Well, I didn't want to do it through the email group. I want to do it through Facebook. ADHD? No, I'm not ADHD. Just too many questions coming at me. It's the joy of Periscope. Keeps me going. Keeping a loving relationship takes constant authenticity from both partners. Yes, absolutely. Oh, you're welcome, Laura. Just doing here to help. That's why I do the scopes, because it's a way of getting my message out beyond my blog and my website and talking to people one-on-one. Do you think people can find love if they are stuck on someone else? Generally not, in terms of finding a loving relationship, because they're not going to be focused on the new partner, they're focused on the other one. So you've got to let go of anything else to be focused on the one you want to be with, because it takes all of you to be present in a relationship. You split your focus is not healthy. I said you cover HD. See, you keep putting one-word answers in there. I don't remember the context. So hang on to your question for a second, Timiko. ADHD. Bottom line is, we are very much in a very high distraction-centered world where we live, especially in the Western world, with so much distraction out there. So it takes focus. So basically, I think normal is distraction. Special is focused. So it's not ADHD. I understand. But in relationship, it's that, one, it's raising the vibration and the passion and the connection so it becomes such a priority, you don't get distracted. But if you're finding yourself distracted by other things, then where's your heart's focus? So I don't like so I don't use the term ADHD per se, but to use it as a general label to say, okay, we're talking about this thing about distraction. Then it's like, okay, so what's distracting you? So staying focused on your partner, staying attracted to your partner, that's the key. And if you can't do that because you're distracted, then is that really the priority? So basically what I'm saying is that most things in the world are feedback to us of where we are and what we're about. If we find ourselves being pulled over there, that's feedback that we're not over here. You can use it that way. So that's an opportunity to look at things differently. So Laura, you had another question I thought you posted? Oh, what if the one you loved told they loved you but married someone else? Well, they lied. Bottom line is they can't tell you the truth and be the truth. Everything distracted me. No, if someone says they love you and they marry somebody else, that's a pretty indication they don't want to follow through. And bottom line, you shouldn't hang your shingle out for them. You shouldn't hang your heart out for them. You should go find somebody else because they're married. They've chosen somebody else. Get over them. I mean, I'm being blunt with that one, and it does require some work, but that's not healthy. It's not honest. And it's not real, and you shouldn't blame yourself. That's them doing something they're out of alignment. Well, lied maybe, but also they didn't own their true feelings. If they really loved you enough to marry you, they would have done so. Them running away and marrying somebody else is their defense, their hiding, their avoidance. So you need to follow your own heart and cut ties with that person who's got married. Why do we choose who we choose? Ooh, that's a big question. So I'm just catching up. Yes, I start my book and start with Periscope. Sorry, that was a lot of stuff blasted by. Question at the top, I just missed it so quickly. So if you can post that one again, because it was like, I saw it go up and that was the key question, and all the stuff underneath distracted me from it. Good point. You're lucky you got married. Probably yes. If he was basically being pulled somewhere else, and he wasn't willing to commit to you, then he would have chosen out later on. So it's true. So was there another question? I saw one go by and it just went so fast I didn't catch it as it went by. So can you repeat the question if I didn't answer you in that last flurry of comments that went by? Oh, these connections on here. It's great to have you people in my scope. There was one question I was in the middle of answering, I think. So ADHD covered that. Stay focused. Marry someone else. Got that one covered. What's another question? And Laura, was that you that posted a question? If you can, repost it again. I saw one go by very quickly that I didn't catch. I want to make sure I got to it before I finish the scope. Trust and attention. So can you expand on that? True, he didn't deserve. Well, not much he didn't deserve. He didn't deserve him. He didn't deserve to love as much as he did, or he lied to you. Either way, it didn't work out. So the good news is you get to step out. Oh yes, that's the question. Thank you. Someone asked why do we choose who we do? Okay, roll the sleeves up. Let me get into this one. This one is actually, I talked about this on 2 scopes last week about law of attraction. In fact, I talked about this on my scope yesterday. I did a law of attraction, why the law of attraction affects your love life. And so let me cover in distillation in here so you can get back on track. You may have a list of what you want. You did ask, okay. You may have a list of what you want in a relationship and love. And you may have a criteria. You may have like written on a notepad things we want to have and keys you want to have in a relationship, which is all good and wonderful. But you keep dating and you get attracted to partners who are not like that. There's a reason for this. And I talk about this in my work, and let me cover the 3 main keys. I'll do it this way. First thing is, it's good to know what you want. Clarity, direction, and focus where you want to go. You need that, absolutely. And you got to start loving yourself. Mentioned in the scope earlier was about you got to start looking at yourself in the mirror and really loving who you are, so you step your value up to what you really want to create and attract. Self-love first, then you can love somebody else. But the third piece people don't remember, and mostly forget about, and I've talked about this before, it's so vital, is we are run by autopilot. Dun, dun, dun. Autopilot. What I mean, literally, is that our subconscious mind is automatically guiding our choices in relationship. And our subconscious mind is 5 years old. So, oh, great. Okay, I'll get back to you in a minute, Tamiko, but thanks to post that. It's good to know. So, your 5-year-old automatic pilot literally is your consciousness that you were imprinted with at the age of, well, from 0 to 10, but 5 being the median. So you basically learnt from the adults around you, parents, caregivers, etc., at your early age, in like 0 to 10 years old, how relationships work, however functional or dysfunctional that was. But what happens is you take that on as the way it's supposed to be without even realizing it. Because at that age, you don't have conscious decision making. So you're going like a sponge, taking everything in as learning. And then, unfinished parental business, they can fill that void your subconscious sees them as parents. Yes, and. So let me get to that point. Yeah, it is scary, because what happens is and I did the same thing, I talk about it in my book, in my previous scopes, we take on patterns from our parents as a way to live relationships. So when we're out looking at dates and we go, well, they're cute, but then we get pulled to this person over here, it's because of a childhood subconscious mind running the show, autopilot. And what happens, you then will attract someone to you that will mirror the pattern of relationship you had with your parents. Or I should say, the pattern your parents had in front of you. So if they were loving to each other, that's great, because it means you attract loving relationships. But if they love through an abusive relationship, or addictive based, or an alcoholic one, Well, yes, it's familiar. But I want to say this, you will still keep attracting relationships that will fulfill that requirement to feel loving, because we have, as young kids, taken on loving with another association. So, for example, if you had abuse in your family, watching your parents abuse each other, abuse their kids, you would see loving and abuse tied together. So a relationship would not be fully loving to you unless there was abuse present. I'll say that again, because that's a deep one. You would not feel fully loved in a relationship unless there was abuse present, because that's what you saw as a kid. As strange and as painful as that is, that's the truth. Because you were raised in an environment where the parents around you demonstrate a certain way of loving that you associate with loving. It is tough work, but it's also the best work. I'm passionate about this work, and that's why I do this work in my life and teach and coach about this, is because loving relationship is part of our makeup, part of our choice. It's worth it. No, it's not too much work. If you want to grow and be more fulfilled than ever in your life, you've got to be out there loving, yes, from your father. So it works both sides, though. I've seen men abused by their mothers and by their fathers, seen women abused by their mothers and their fathers. So it works both ways. There's no one way or the other. It's all of the above is possible. I believe relationships are the best education on the planet. In my book, one of the chapters is that relationship is the best education there is. Is the best spiritual growth as well. Both your partner and I have parents that are learning love relationships. Yes, that helps. It does help a lot. You're lucky that way, Tamiko. That's not a common thing, to be honest. And even though you have a loving relationship, well, loving yourself is the best, yes, but loving a relationship is even bigger than that. So, thank you. My parents had a loving relationship, and my mother passed away after 60 years together. But the thing was, they had a pattern working between them that made my dating life challenging too, and I talked about in the previous scope. I'm going to do it here. So there's always an opportunity to grow and learn about our history, and use that to grow beyond it, so we can attract amazing relationship partners. So, I wish they did teach it. If I could write curriculum for schools, you know, I get clearly you don't want a relationship. That's clear. I understand that. You can keep following my scopes if you want to. I guess you won't want to become a client. So, this Skype's gone quite deep, which I'm grateful for. I love doing this conversation, because when you ask the questions, it takes me deeper and takes you deeper. That for me is the content value of Periscope. So I'm grateful for doing that. So thanks for asking questions. Thanks for being here and keeping this alive and thriving. So, any other questions, thoughts? I think I've covered everything to this point. So, you're welcome. Glad I could help. Absolutely, my pleasure. This is my passion, my work, my joy to serve this. So thanks for watching and following, and please share this with your friends and followers on Twitter and on Periscope, and share the replay. So you're welcome. And I'm glad you're independent and loving your life the way you are, and I'm glad you like what I'm sharing. My pleasure to do this. Any other questions before I wrap up? Oh, you're welcome, Tamiko. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing about your relationship. That's good to know. Any other questions or thoughts before I wrap up? Thank you so much. Thanks, Heidi, for promoting that. Yeah, this is my work. Please check out my website out. There's a bunch of audios, interviews I've done. There's radio interviews on there. There's my blog. I have an online program for women that is called The Dating Advantage. It's an 8-week online program that will transform your dating life and focus where you want to go. I also have private coaching. I have a bunch of other stuff there too. So check out my website. There's a consult button as well, and even a Periscope page, which is kind of clunky right now. You're welcome. Thanks for joining me. So with that, looks like we're wrapping up. Any other questions or thoughts before I wrap up? I will be back on again in 20 minutes, actually, as part of a share-a-thon with the Perry 10K group that I'm part of. And that'll be about living your mission and purpose. And this is my mission and purpose, so it's kind of obvious that I'll be happy about this. So commit to myself first, then commit to partner will come. Yes, exactly. Start with you. Absolutely. You never TV show? What does that mean? You're welcome, Miss Crafty. You never TV show, didn't catch what that was. I've never done TV? I haven't. I look forward to that. I mean, Periscope is a great platform to practice for TV, I feel like. So, who knows? Well, you know, if you've got any connections, you will hook me up with a TV show, I'm open to that. So just put that in the universe. You feel like you could teach on relationships. Maybe you could. I mean, this is my joy, my passion. I mean, I've written a book about it. I've been doing this for a few years. I've been studying for 30. I've got lots of content to bring and deliver. So it's kind of pulled me into this work. And I've had a few other careers before this, but this is where my heart's work leads me. Again, bare naked heart, authentic work. This is what I do. So, any other questions or thoughts and comments you have before I wrap up? I'm glad you were here, by the way. Thanks for keeping the scope very involved and conversational. This is quite rich. Yes, I did too. Glad you loved it. Anything else? Any other? Oops, I've been sitting on the side of the lens the whole time. Okay, sit back in the middle. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for asking me questions. Thanks for holding true to your values too. I appreciate that. It was something that I really felt was something that you did, which I nudged a couple of times, but you were staying very true. So was I. Thank you for staying true to your own values, words, and choices. Absolutely. Glad you liked it. All right. So I think I'm wrapping up because there seems to be no other comments coming through every time. Well, again, I'll be back on again. I'm planning to do a love scope every day. Thanks to Miko. I'll be back on again. I'm going to be back on again in about 20 minutes on a different theme, which is part of my Perry 10K participation in the Share-a-thon about living a purpose, because this is my purpose. I'll be sharing about that. I may do a Perry Tips one later on today. I do have a radio interview in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I may be off and about after that. So I just want to get this love scope done. I'll be back on again tomorrow with topics and teachings and helping you with your love relationships with yourself and your future partner, your current partner, your past partners. Okay, great. Thanks for following. And basically, if you haven't followed me yet, please remember, swipe right on the iPhone, swipe down on the Droid, and tap on follow me so you're notified when I do scope, because I will be scoping sometimes spontaneously. All right? You're welcome. Thanks, Heidi. And again, I do have my archives on catch.me. One more time, is there. So catch.me/barryselby. You find all my archives on my Periscopes. If I love relationships, I do a bunch of other ones on Perry Tips as well. I've even got a donation button on my profile too if you feel like donating to my beer fund. But thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the scope. Take care of yourselves. Get out there and love yourself more and more every day, because your love makes a difference in the world. And I will see you. You won't talk to your ex? Don't have to, do you? Unless you have kids, you may have to, but otherwise you shouldn't need to. Am I saying another question here, or are we wrapping up? Just checking in on you. Okay. I will be back on again soon, so take care of yourselves, have a great time. Be your own best love in the world. Show yourself authentically, truthfully, lovingly. All right. So I think we're wrapping up. Unless you have another question there. Just checking, because that was... Okay. No, you don't have to. Then don't. That's easy. I mean, unless you want to make some peace. If there's some history or something to work on, then, you can do that. That's another conversation. On another topic after this scope. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourselves out in the world. And be the best you can be. I'll see you later. Bye.